Hello friends, this video is about Cadillac XT6. We will try to give detailed information about the car. Watch the video till the end and write your opinion. If you are ready, we have started. The black mesh grille, minimal chrome trim and smoked taillights are hallmarks of the XT6 Sport version. The crossover marked the transition to a new, more moderate design language heralded by the Escala concept car. A horizontally stretched grille shield, narrow diode headlights, but I really feel sorry for the old design, the foundations of which were laid 20 years ago by the chief designer of Cadillac, the son of Russian immigrants, Kip Visenko. Faceted surfaces, vertical headlights and chrome-plated trapezoid window frames were very original. And the XT6 seems to be solid, but it lacks recognition. Here Volvo will glimpse, then Audi motives will appear there, or even the features of unpretentious Chevrolet, although the continuity is still traced in the form of vertical running lights and taillights. Meanwhile, from a technical point of view, the Cadillac XT6 is just an elongated version of the mid-size Cadillac XT5, which has been on sale with us since 2017. And you can't tell by looking at it. Against its younger brother, the XT6 with its vertical C-pillar looks like a real wagon. No, a wagon. After all, the total length of the car has exceeded 5 meters, 50 millimeters. Moreover, the increase in wheelbase is purely symbolic, only 5 millimeters, although it is already large for the XT5 58-57 millimeters, and the main increase is due to the elongated rear overhang. However, there are important differences both with the younger XT5 model and with those XT6s sold in America. It is distinguished from the first by a new gearbox, its own GM Hydromatic 9T65 9-speed automatic, replacing the purchased Ace 8-speed gearbox. And from the second, the engine, instead of the atmospheric V6 3.6 for 314 forces, a 4-cylinder turbo engine with a volume of exactly 2 liters, took the place under the hood. But a long time ago, back in the 30s, the Cadillac brand was the first in the world to switch completely to 8-cylinder traction, which made it possible to look down on 6-cylinder competitors in the luxury segment. The LSY engine uses the original SCS, sliding cam valve lift system with sliding camshaft cams. In general, you will not hear the tasty Escalade gurgling from under the hood. There will be either a barely perceptible rustle, thanks to the powerful sound insulation, or with vigorous acceleration a simple rumble. For the sake of premium sensations, we could work with the sound of the exhaust, says my inner snob. The exterior of the Cadillac XT6 in the premium luxury version seems more balanced, thanks to contrasting chrome trim. I don't presume to judge how much this decrease in power affected the dynamics. I had enough motor, but that's all. Thank you that the automatic is set up well and goes through its 9 steps in time. According to the Passport, acceleration to hundreds on an empty car takes 9.9 seconds. This is the level of creep with a 2-liter engine or Skoda Kodiaq with a base 1.4 TSI engine. The LSY engine uses the original SCS, sliding cam valve lift system with sliding camshaft cams. In general, you will not hear the tasty Escalade gurgling from under the hood. There will be either a barely perceptible rustle, thanks to the powerful sound insulation, or with vigorous acceleration a simple rumble. For the sake of premium sensations, we could work with the sound of the exhaust, says my inner snob. The exterior of the Cadillac XT6 in the premium luxury version seems more balanced, thanks to contrasting chrome trim. I don't presume to judge how much this decrease in power affected the dynamics. I had enough motor, but that's all. Thank you that the automatic is set up well and goes through its 9 steps in time. According to the Passport, acceleration to hundreds on an empty car takes 9.9 seconds. This is the level of creep with a 2-liter engine or Skoda Kodiaq with a base 1.4 TSI engine. Yes, and about multimedia. Its screen is clearly too small for a premium. But the interface is not bad, and the connection to the mobile phone is completely exemplary using NFC technology. I leaned the phone against the front panel, and it's ready. I was also pleased with the uncluttered architecture of the front panel with a V-shaped motif traditional for Cadillacs on the center console. By the way, he is cleverly beaten in the texture of wooden inserts. But the monochromatic black interior of the Sport with carbon fiber inserts seemed gloomy to me. Alas, Cadillac has not passed a fashion for touch keys everywhere and everywhere. Because of it, you won't even find the emergency gang button right away. If anything, it is to the right of the multimedia screen. Thank you, at least the climate control was done on comfortable embossed rocker keys. But, say, seat heating is again on touch buttons. The multimedia system is convenient, and the controls, volume knob and track switching, are duplicated on the central tunnel. But the screen with a diagonal of only 8 inches is too modest for a car for $4 million. See the letter N below the screen. There is an NFC transmitter, to which a smartphone is applied to pair it with a multimedia system using the Bluetooth protocol. The space in the cabin is royal. There is more space only in the bus-like Volkswagen Terramont with its almost vertical sidewalls. Passengers in the middle row have legroom in excess, spacious and in the shoulders. Moreover, with my height of 190 centimeters, I was able to fit in the luggage row without even moving the middle row seats forward. Albeit without much comfort, resting his head against a tight on the ceiling, with his knees sticking up. In other words, a teenager will calmly settle down on a 4+. Even a tall passenger can get on the third row with acceptable comfort. I also fit, height 190 centimeters, albeit not very comfortable. Another thing is that the seats themselves seemed flat to me. You expect more comfort from the commander, seats in the middle row. So I would prefer a regular 3-seater sofa. I considered the main advantage of individual seats to be a passage in the middle, which makes it easier to get to the third row. On the go, the Caddy made a good impression, but with peculiarities. In the basic tour mode, the driving electronics relax the shock absorbers too much. The car rolls, sways and nods, even in the most harmless situations. And the steering wheel is empty to an uncomfortable level. So if you are driving somewhere and not trudging, feel free to use the Sport mode. Mutual understanding with the car will improve, the suspension will become more collected, and you will not lose comfort. An XT6 in the Sport trim can get out of such a rework, but a car in the premium luxury version with a simpler all-wheel drive system is unlikely. You also need to know that in the Tour mode, all-wheel drive will not come to the rescue. No matter what happens, the car will remain purely front-wheel drive. It turns out that in this mode, not only the clutch for connecting the rear wheels, or 2 clutches on the Sport version, remains open, but also the cam clutch in the transfer case. Thanks to this, the long propeller shaft going backwards does not rotate, which means fuel is saved. But it is impossible to quickly connect the rear wheels. Therefore, even in a harmless situation, you need to use the button on the central tunnel to switch the electronics to odd, sport or off-road mode in advance. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting stuck out of the blue, say, in a snowy yard or on a clay primer. As befits a modern and expensive car, the Caddy is equipped with a whole set of electronic driver assistance, auto braking systems, lane keeping, active cruise control, 4 radars, one of which controls the rear hemisphere, all-round cameras, and even a night vision camera. How much charm. For 2 days, Cadillac managed to arouse sympathy in me. There is some kind of charm in it, which both the Europeans and the Japanese are deprived of. The stately appearance and cozy spacious interior, which did not have time to become familiar, reconcile with shortcomings, the main of which are phlegmatic dynamics and mediocre cross-country ability. You can display a picture from the rear view camera installed in the visor on the rear door on the rear view mirror. Convenient when parking, as well as if the trunk is loaded under the very roof. But it is uncomfortable to use it all the time. A bright screen with a wide-angle picture confuses peripheral vision. So I switched to a normal mirror. True, the electronics are weird. The lane retention system was irritated by longitudinal cracks in the asphalt filled with bitumen, and the crews did not recognize speed limit signs. They promised that this should be fixed in the next revisions of the software, which is about to go to dealers. What they won't fix for sure is the vibration below the back. This is how the parking sensors make themselves felt. But do not think that I scold this idea, it's just very unusual. However, I'm still not sure that Caddy will be able to break out of the niche product. And it's not even about the high cost. It seems that Russian buyers do not associate the brand with anything other than the monumental Escalade. Such thoughts are prompted by sales statistics, in which the mid-size crossover of the XT5 model is twice as inferior to the expensive frame. Yes, and Cadillac has much fewer dealerships than competitors. And yet I would like to wish him success. On our gray roads there is not enough variety. Elon Musk. The most affordable Tesla will be released in 2023. It will not have a steering wheel and pedals, and the price will be $25,000. At a meeting with employees, Tesla CEO Elon Musk outlined the prospects for a new relatively affordable $25,000 electric car and spoke about some technical details related to the new model, which has already received the unofficial name Tesla Model 2. About what Tesla is going to release relatively low-cost electric car, Musk spoke at the Tesla Battery Day event last year. This price will be possible thanks to new battery cells and new manufacturing processes, which will reduce the cost of batteries by 50%, he said. It is possible that the car, conditional Tesla Model 2, will be produced at the Gigafactory in Shanghai, with the prospect of sales not only in China, but also in global markets. Last year, the company announced the establishment of a research center in China to develop a Chinese-style electric vehicle, and already last summer began recruiting a team to develop it. Subscribe to watch interesting videos.